signs from the universe, signs from God, maybe signs from your angels or your guides. Do you believe in that? Well, I do. I've always believed in signs, or for as long as I can remember, I have believed in signs, but I didn't always receive them. And no matter how much I really wanted to receive a sign, I didn't ever see that one showed up. I would ask, wouldn't receive. At least I didn't think I received. So here's the thing, when you ask, so what I'm talking about, let's start there. What I'm talking about is you saying, like actually putting out into the world, into the ethers, the intention, the desire to receive a sign that you should do something or shouldn't do something. Although should's not such a good word. Basically, you want to know, is this in my highest interest, right? So is doing X in my highest interest? If it is, show me a sign. If it's not in my highest interest, show me a sign. So if this is in my highest good and the highest good of all concerned, show me a sign. So if you're asking whether it's in your highest good, not that it's not in your highest good, let's just stick with what is in your highest good. If you're asking that question, is X in my highest good and the highest good of all concerned, then if it is, you should get a sign, right? You should see something, and especially if you're specific. So you could be very specific. I want to see a hummingbird. I want to see a rainbow. I want to see the number 777, right? That's the simplest way to explain it, is that you ask for a very specific sign. Now you could also not ask for a specific sign and just ask for a sign, and then you see what shows up. But here's the thing, if it doesn't show up, if you don't think you received a sign, it could be that it's not in your highest good, not in your highest interest, and so the sign's not coming. A lot of times though, we block these signs. We receive them, they show up, but we don't actually allow them in. So technically we don't receive them because we don't allow them in. We don't see them. We don't acknowledge them. And so we keep asking, but we're not looking well enough, or we're just not perceiving the signs as showing up. And that has a lot to do with your beliefs. So for me, I know that for a long, long time, up until very recently, I definitely had some beliefs in my head that I don't receive signs, or I'm not good enough to receive signs, or I'm not aligned enough to receive signs, or I don't know, all kinds of things, and probably more negative thoughts and beliefs in my brain than I even know about, right? I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, God doesn't love me, nobody's listening, right? These are all in there. So if you have those kind of beliefs, then what's going to happen is you aren't going to receive. The signs will come. The universe will still respond, but you're not going to see the response. You're not going to be open enough to allow in those signs and to see them, to perceive them. Okay, so that's sort of a little bit of groundwork there. So now let me tell you a story. Back in December, I asked for a sign. I remember specifically I was in Germany visiting my son, and I was visiting my son, and I was sitting up. I had been to the gym in the hotel on the very top floor, and I was sitting in the locker room in a window bay looking out at the big Christmas market. And I was thinking about whether or not I should start a program that I really wanted to start. And I wasn't sure if I should start it in January or whether I should wait. And so I asked the universe, I said, if I'm supposed to start this program in January, give me a sign. I said, and I was very specific. I said, I want the sign to be an owl. So if I'm supposed to start this program, show me an owl. And I walked away, but it was on my mind. I didn't forget. I kept thinking about it, and I thought for sure, so I sort of had it planned out. I thought for sure in this Christmas market that was right outside our hotel, the largest Christmas market in, I think, all of Europe, but definitely all of Dresden, Germany. I thought, I'll definitely see one in this market, which was filled with all kinds of Christmas ornaments and carvings and all kinds of things, and gifts and, jewelry. And I just thought for sure that I would see an owl there. So I kind of rigged it, right? But for 2 days, I think it was, I walked around that market. I mean, we were in and out of that Christmas market all the time. Everywhere we went took us basically around or through this Christmas market. So I looked and I looked, never saw an owl, not one owl. And then, like on the third day, my husband and I are walking around and we walk by a booth with all these wooden carved Christmas ornaments, and there was an owl. Not only was there one owl, there were a bunch of them. And I thought, okay, that's my sign, I got it. And then suddenly I saw owls all over Dresden. Everywhere we went, I would see owls. So I thought, okay, I got the sign. So I came back to the States and I began to work on the program, and then I can't remember exactly what happened, but I made the decision to put it off, to not work on this program anymore and not start it in January. And it got pushed to the back burner. And it was always on my to-do list, but I wasn't doing it. And then about a month ago now, from when I'm shooting this video, my husband calls me down towards the garden path, which is down that way. And he says, you have to come here, come here, come here. And I get there and he said, look, owlets, baby great horned owls. And sure enough, there were 2 great horned owls, little, I guess we would call them fledglings. Okay. So I remember taking a video of them and I got super close and I was all excited. And then one of them flew, he actually could fly a little bit. He flew down into the woods and the other one hopped down after him. And so for the next couple weeks, actually till this day, we spend, I get up every morning and I look for the owls. And every evening we go looking for these 2 little, what I call fuzzy bumpkins. They're super fuzzy and super cute. And these 2 stay together a lot of the time. Anyway, I did not see this as a sign, okay? Did not see this as a sign. Totally had forgotten about my sign. So anyway, so we've spent like a month looking at these owls, but about 2 weeks into it, we're looking at the owls every day, and I'm hearing them, and I'm going out to look at them and to find them, and obsessed with these owls. We're walking down the driveway, and we see this bluebird going crazy, and so we stop to look, and sure enough, there is an adult great horned owl just lying, sort of resting on this redwood stump. And we were amazed because we've lived in this house 15 years and we hear the great horned owls almost every night, and we've never seen them. And I kept asking and asking for the last 3 years, probably. I've been saying, I just want to see a great horned owl once. And there it was. Well, after that, we started seeing the adults everywhere because we would just listen for these blue jays who seem to hate them, and they dive bomb them and make a racket whenever there's an adult owl nearby. So we started to find these great horned owls everywhere. I still did not see this as a sign, totally oblivious, until I was watching a TV show. So I'm watching one of my favorite shows, Heartland, and I'm watching, and on the desk of this one character is a stuffed owl. And it looked like the owls in Germany. It had the same basic, I don't know, the same look as the ones I'd seen in Germany. And I saw that on her desk, and I thought, that's right, I asked for a sign. And it all clicked. I went, oh my God, I'm seeing owls everywhere, everywhere. And like 3 days later, my husband and I are walking on the road, and we're looking for the owls, the fledgling owls. And we see 2 of them fly onto a tree, and then a third joined them. So suddenly, instead of 2, we had 3. So just an abundance of owls. I got an email from a company that had owl in the name. I mean, it was just like everywhere. Anyway, so I was convinced I had finally gotten my sign, and actually I had just started working on the program again about 2 weeks ago. And so it was in the midst of this month of the owlets. So I was super excited. So then I signed up for a 21-day manifestation course or challenge. And after a couple days, we were asked to actually look for a sign, but it was a generic sign. So we weren't to say it was an owl or a butterfly or a rainbow or whatever. We were just told to ask for a sign if we were in alignment. No other instructions, just am I in alignment? Show me a sign if I'm in alignment. And we were told that it could be the sign could be a feeling, a color, 11, number 111, anything. right? We just have to keep our eyes open for this sign. And so I remember that I put this out, said, universe, show me a sign. If I'm in alignment, show me a sign. And it was right after I'd finished working out. I had been listening to the challenge video, and then I listened to a podcast by the same person. And then I said, if I'm in alignment, show me a sign. And I didn't say what sign. So I went, I took a shower, I get out of the shower, and I have a phone call from a potential client. And she starts talking to me. And it turns out that, like me, she's a certified law of attraction coach, and she's talking about all the spiritual stuff, and she's talking about the law of attraction, and I did not put two and two together. Now, I'm a law of attraction coach. I'm very interested in conscious creation. I have a framework that's going to be in my new program. I'm going to be teaching about my way of looking at the law of attraction in my new Inspired Creator community that I'll be starting. And anyways, I didn't put it together. I hung up the phone, went on my way. I thought, okay, before I go to work with a client, I'm going to check the phone messages on our landline, because I had heard the phone take a message and I wanted to see what it was. So I go in and I hit the record button, and I'm listening to the message, and the phone rings, which interrupts this recording, this message. And so I actually, all I ever get are sales calls on this landline. So I looked at the number, didn't know it, doesn't say it's anybody. So I actually picked the phone up, I turned it on, and then I turned it off and I hung it up. That'll be the end of that. I start listening to the recording again of this message, and immediately the phone rings again, and it's the same number. I thought, that can't be a sales call. So I pick it up, and it's this woman calling me to invite me overseas to speak at a law of attraction conference. Out of the blue. She said, I didn't know her I didn't know her at all. She said she'd been referred to me by a man who I didn't know, or I don't remember knowing. And here it was, this offer for a great paid speaking gig on a topic near and dear to my heart that I'm passionate about. So then it clicked. I went, that was a sign. Matter of fact, the other one was a sign too, but when I didn't get that sign, the universe sent me a bigger one. It was amazing. Amazing. So, but of course, because I have never seemed to get signs before, I decided to test it out one more time. And I asked the universe to just tell me if pursuing, sort of moving away from, I've always been involved in spiritual coaching and, personal development and all of that. But of course, most people have known me over the last 10, 12 years as an author coach. And so I've been trying to shift into primarily, not only, but primarily working on personal and spiritual growth, which is what my new program that I was talking about, Inspired Creator Community, is going to be. And so I said, just tell me, universe, if working on personal and spiritual growth is for my highest good. And right after I asked for that, I did a certified high performance coaching strategy session or discovery session with someone, with a potential client who was like, no, I want to, no questions. She just, I want to do this. She had a little bit of money issues. We worked that out. And she said, no, I'm going to sign up. And half an hour after I finished that, I got on the phone with someone else who, she actually didn't call. She didn't show up for her 15-minute free call with me, but it said she was interested in coaching. And I thought author coaching, but I picked up the phone and I called her, which I rarely do. I just usually tell people that they missed the appointment. But I thought, well, she's interested in coaching, I'll call her. Well, she wasn't more interested in author coaching. She was interested in high performance coaching, and she was already sold on it. She didn't need me to sell her on it at all. I hung up the phone with her and went, that was my sign that I am on the right track. So a lot of stories I just told you about this, but I see now how I was blocking myself from receiving these signs, and I don't want you to block yourself. So here's what I'd like to challenge you to do today. I want to challenge you to ask the universe for a sign. You can be specific or you can not be specific, okay? You have that choice. You can just say, am I aligned, or is this in my highest good? Just show me a sign. Or you can say, show me a hummingbird, or show me a rainbow, whatever, okay? And I want you to actually take some time to think about, maybe journal about what might block you from receiving, or seeing these signs, okay? So take a little time to think about your negative beliefs and to maybe change them into affirmations. So you might have an affirmation like, I always receive and acknowledge the signs from the universe, or the universe always hears and responds to my request for signs, or I'm open to seeing the signs from the universe. Come up with some sort of affirmation for yourself, okay? But ask for a sign. Either ask for a very specific sign or ask for a sign that is, where you don't specify at all what it is, okay? And just watch for feelings, for numbers, all those things, okay? I was floored at how I had been blocking and how easy it was for me to receive signs. Of course, I've been working at this for a number of years, and I made a huge commitment in the last year, but this year in particular, that I was going to work on alignment, spiritual alignment with my highest self, alignment with God or the universe. So that's what's gotten me here, okay? And that's something I'll be talking about a lot in the Inspired Creator community, but it's not open yet. Anyway, something I'm also going to be bringing that spirituality and spiritual growth into the personal growth work I do as a high performance coach. So if you're interested in that, you can always go to ninaamir.com and click on the Certified High Performance Coaching tab and fill out the application, or just click on the link above, wherever it is. Click on the link above and scroll down to the bottom of the sales page, and you'll see that there's an application for a free Certified High Performance Coaching session. Anyway, that's my challenge to you, is to ask for signs and do whatever is necessary to receive them, to see them and acknowledge them. The more you see and acknowledge those signs, the more signs you're going to get. That's my experience, really. The more signs you're going to get. Okay, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I would love to talk to you about signs and spiritual growth and your personal growth, because it's your personal growth, it's those thoughts and beliefs. That's what you have to work on in order to receive those signs and to move forward on your spiritual path. You have to work on your personal growth path as well. So if that's of interest to you, go on over to ninaamir.com, check me out, make sure you download the free ebook there about high performance habits. It puts you on my mailing list, then I can invite you to the Inspired Creator community when it opens as a founding member. And of course, click on the link above if you want a free high performance coaching strategy session, 60 to 90 minutes working on getting some clarity, figuring out where your energy might be blocking you, figuring out where you need more courage, or where you need to be more productive, or where you need more influence in the world, maybe with yourself. Anyway, I'd be happy to talk to you. And you can also get a free 15-minute chat with me by going to ninaamir.com. So just go there, check things out. And until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results. And don't forget to leave me a comment. Tell me about your signs. Tell me what you asked for and whether you received it, okay? Leave me a comment.